Welcome to another episode of The Raw Truth. As always, I'm your host, BX Bad Boy, and today we're going into daddy issues. Stay tuned. As I stated, we're going to be talking about daddy issues. Now, I I known this the entire time, like these people got issues, but I didn't give it a name or a title. But now I have. All these anti-maskers, um, anti-vaxxers, especially the ones on the right, they got daddy issues, hence the title. What do I mean? Well, traditionally they call it authority issues, issues with authority. It doesn't matter if what you're saying is right or wrong. I gotta fight the power. Now, growing up, every one of us that, have a brain and aren't subject to stupidity can relate that we wanted to defy our parents. And the more they tried to control us, the more we defied them. Sound familiar? The more they implement rules, the more these people want to defy them. You know the stupid cliche, all rules are meant to be broken. No. So it's daddy issues, and the reason why I say that is traditionally the daddy is the authority in the family. In a traditional family, um, growing up, my mother's threat was wait till your father gets home. And we all can admit to that cliche, wait till daddy gets home. When he gets home, I can't save you. So that's why I call it daddy issues. It's not a sexist thing. I mean, I'm sure the theory that these people have about when daddy gets home because the mother can't punish like a dad can, that whole bullshit is sexist. My usage of it, I guess, personifies it, but no. It's because the father usually is the one that does the punishing and the mother usually does the coddling. It's just the nature of the beast, so to speak. So, daddy issues, back to that again. So, these people just want to defy the authority, the father figure, unless they think the father figure is cool. I have a lot of children that I parent, so to speak, that because they think I'm cool and they think I'm awesome, that even though I rip them a new asshole, they still run up to me, give me a hug. Oh, I miss you. How you been? Even though I just saw them the day before. Is because I have a mixture of, I guess you would say, cool and authority. So, and a no bullshit attitude or philosophy. In essence, I'm a lot like Donald Trump in that way, and that's what attracts these anti-parent, anti-daddy, the daddy issue people. It attracts them because he's the cool dad, but yet he's the tough dad, where he'll give you the ice cream and then beat that person's ass, whoever that is, that we want. So I'm looking for a particular person to get an ass whooping. So I hope my father's gonna do it for me. So when my father says, no matter what, I got your back and I'll protect you from anyone and everyone, you're like, you know what? He's awesome. That's why a lot of kids gravitate to their father more than their mother. Because the mother's not really the guardian or the protector, so to speak. She's more the nurturer. And it's not like I think they can't be a guardian or a father can't be a nurturer because I'm authoritarian or authority as well as a nurturer. Like when that comes to my son, I will scream him straight into the dirt, and then once I'm done, pick him up, clean him off, hug him, and tell him how much I love him. Just don't make me do that again. That doesn't go over very well, meaning he makes me do it over and over again, but that's children and that's parenting. But I don't just yell at him or just hit him and go, psst, now go away, don't bother me. No. I make sure he understands I'm the authority and the discipline, but I'm also the loving father who cares about him. And once I have said my piece, I don't need to keep harping on it. Now let's go do something. Let's go be father and son. It goes from scolding to loving. Today, I was flipping out on one of my nephews. I was flipping out on him. I was forced to, quote unquote, yoke him up. Because you don't curse at me. Oh, hell to the no. So, I'm screaming at him. Not crazy like I have no control. It's directed screams. And then my niece and other nephew were trying to talk to me. I said, give me a minute, with my hand, without any, like, go away. Like, I didn't lose my cool with them. Give me 1 minute. I said what I had to say to my nephew, and I turned and looked at them. I went from screaming and stern to, what can I do for you? Their look on their face. It was like, what? He was just ready to kill him, and he looks at us like it never happened. I departmentalized, as they call it. I took care of business. It's over. And it's only business. It's not personal. Then when I turned to my niece and other nephew, it was, okay, how can I help you? They didn't do anything wrong. No need to scold them or yell at them. When I put my hand up, give me a minute, they responded with kind, meaning they did what they were supposed to. I took care of the business. Now back to being quote unquote normal. And even after that, I yelled at my nephew, who disrespected me, and lucky I didn't put his head where his ass used to be. I still spoke to him after that. I didn't continue to yell. Once the yelling and the authority was taken care of, it was now time to discuss until he continued to disrespect, and then that would change. Okay? So I was speaking to him like, dude, all you had to do is this, and the problem would have been solved. I wouldn't have to come out here and yell. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It was him trying to pose his authority on his little brother. Because his little brother's annoying, so he feels I'm not going to do what he wants because he's annoying. But also then on top of that, his little brother continued to annoy him and try to mess with what he was doing, so he's losing his cool. I'm going to hit you, blah, blah, blah. All he had to do was pull out the trash bag, hand it to him, and then move on. That's it. The little boy would have took off and came back to the room and put the garbage bag in. But he had to have the control over his little brother because his little brother made him mad. So I'm not going to do anything for you once you piss me off theory. But at the same time, he turned around and pissed himself off by allowing his little brother to stay there, annoying him. All he had to do was give him a trash bag and he would have took off. It was that simple. But power moves everyone except me. I know the difference between proper power, proper authority, and when not to use it. It's not a tool just to get my way. It's a tool to parent children. Plain and simple. It's not like I asked these children and my own to do anything they shouldn't be, anything that's not necessary, and anything I wouldn't do myself. Okay? That's the rule in my family. I don't know about my father and the father before him, my mother and her mother before her, and her father, so on and so forth. I don't care where those trees lead. My tree starts with me and my family. I'm not going to ask you to do anything I'm not willing and capable or haven't done myself before. And it's one of the things my son respects most about me, that I'll never ask him to do anything I won't do. Like, I'm not going to tell him eat his vegetables if I'm not going to eat mine. I'm not going to tell him clean up the mess he just made if I don't clean up my messes. Now, that doesn't mean I will not ask him to clean everything, but I'm still willing and able to clean up the mess and the whole house. So it's not like I'm a prince sitting in the corner waiting for people to do my job. No. I have my son do jobs around the house because he needs responsibility and he needs to take into respect his home. So he needs to learn how to clean it. And he also needs to learn how to clean it when he leaves my home, when he wants to move out, if that is what he wants. When he's old enough, he needs to know how to clean and what to do and how to do it. Teaching him responsibility. Cutting the grass, same thing. But these derelicts, and that's the way I put it, they got daddy issues, and the second you challenge that freedom, they lose it. I was watching this thing about Newsmax. The Newsmax host loses his shit because his own guest started to quote unquote badmouth or say something negative towards their Lord and Savior Donald Trump. And he fucking lost it. Get rid of him, cut him off, hang it to get it ended now. Instead of hearing the man out, whether you like it or not, hear them out. I speak to Republicans all the time, and people with a different view of my own. And I think their view is skewed in some cases and fucking cuckoo bonkers in others. But I still hear them out. Now, do they do the same for me? Conveniently, not so much. But I hear them out. And I don't judge them beyond on that. I have a brother who refuses to get vaccinated. He thinks it's Big Pharma trying to get rich off us. Make me want to rock like a Maribi. Okay. Number one, Big Pharma's rule is there's no money in the cure. The money is in the treatment. Now, yes, the vaccine is not a cure, so to speak, but the vaccine allows you to not need the treatment. In a lot of cases, if you were to contract COVID while having gotten vaccinated, you could probably treat yourself at home like a common flu. A little bit stronger, a little bit more contagious, in which you need to stay away from people, but you could probably take care of yourself. And if you can't, and you go into the hospital, they're going to prescribe you medicine and send you home, unless something severe happens, which is a 0.01% chance of that, according to the records of how many people are in the hospital with COVID and vaccinated. But, statistics. And yes, that means the other 99.9 is unvaccinated. Convenient much? Anywho, they just want to fight the authority. They don't really care about the cause, meaning why they want to fight. But the authorities are telling them, you got to do something. How fucking dare I? That's the whole point of authority. But it's not our job to fight authority. It's our job to respect authority. That's why, even when I was a kid, I was taught one thing: respect your authority figures. Now, I had another rule that I implemented myself as a child, and I hold it to this day. I will respect your authority if you have that authority and are using it respectfully and correctly. Just because, like, you're in charge, that doesn't mean you get to belittle me, badmouth me, curse me out to get your way, and threaten me. No. Sorry. Authority doesn't give you that authority. So I'm not going to respect that authority at all. I don't care if it's the police or Jesus. I don't care. You come at me with respect, I'll come at you with respect. You cross that line, I'll knock you back over it and won't care much about it. I do my best not to disrespect anyone. I expect the same. If I'm not going to get it, you're going to get it. But back to these anti-vaxxers and these anti-maskers, fight the power, fight the power. Back in the day, that meant something. It meant something legitimate. That there was an unlawful law that was passed because nobody was looking. And you need to fight that power because, like civil rights, for instance, or freedom to be gay, freedom to be transgender, those freedoms, ones that are allotted to us by human nature and by God. Those things, when they're infringed upon, you fight those powers. You getting vaccinated against a plague of a virus like COVID-19 is for yourself and everyone else around you. Wearing a mask is just the same. Staying 6 feet apart is just the same. And it just so happens the same people that are anti-maskers and anti-vaccinations, or anti-vaxxers as they're called, those same people are thinking they're too tough for the virus. I have a brother. Now, I'll admit that out loud because it is what it is. But he believes that this is about Big Pharma, just like the rest of them, trying to get paid. Oh, you don't care, it's tax dollars. Okay, that's everybody's money, not just yours. That's what that tax dollar is there for. For a pandemic of any kind to come our way, we have the money to buy what we need to save our country. That's the whole reason why we pay the government to begin with. But see, the Republicans, they want Wild West freedoms. And like I said, daddy issues. My son wants to grow up so bad he can taste it. Do you want to know why? So he doesn't have to follow my rules. Now, my rules are the same rules outside this house. Not like it's a different set of rules. So he's going to turn 18 and still have to follow the rules anyway. Or go to jail. Or be fined. So he only wants to grow up. He doesn't want the responsibility. Doesn't want to buy a house or get a job, paint, rugs. Like, he's not looking forward to being an adult and doing adult things. He just wants to be an adult to not have to listen to me anymore. Because he believes he has total freedom the second he turns 18 to do what he wants and say what he wants. Because you're an adult. Because adults do it all the time. So he fights my authority like any other child would, and in hopes to grow up faster so he can not have to listen to my authority or make a choice whether to listen to it or not. That's what these anti-vaxxers, Republicans, and anti-maskers are doing, the exact same thing. I'm an adult now. You can't tell me what to do. And you need to stop telling me what to do. I am free. Okay. Freedom isn't free. I know that's a shocker to some of you. They had to fight for that freedom, pay their dues for that freedom. Hence, payment. You can pay with money or blood. Make a choice. It's that simple. They chose blood, and they fought blood, sweat, and tears for the freedoms we all enjoy. Republicans like bringing that up all the time, but then spit in an army man's face because he disagrees with them. Army, military, police don't mean conservative. They mean authority. That's it. Just because they're an authority doesn't mean they're conservative. Doesn't mean they're Republican either. But these conservative Republicans, that's what they think. Oh, back to blue, but fuck you. What? Huh? Confused? Because the cop didn't do what they wanted. I've had cops give me attitude. I've had cops threaten to harm me. And I had cops ID me when they had no right to do so. Ask me to move when they had no right to do so. They've overstepped their authority most of my life. If it's not a big deal, so be it. Now, I understand the ID thing. You don't need my ID. You don't even need my name. But the rest of that, if they ask you to move, so be it, move. If it's not the end of the world, don't escalate a situation. Giving up my ID is the end of the world because now you have my name and information. You have no need for that private information. You know why it's private? Because it's not written on my damn forehead. You have to go into a private space, my wallet, my fingerprints, to find my name. So if it's open for you to see and you read my ID, I can't be mad at you for that. I left it in the open for you to read. If it's in my wallet, in my pocket, you can't have it. Especially when I'm not doing anything wrong. I have not committed a crime. I'm not interfering with anything. At the end of the day, all these things are crimes. I don't care how small they are, they're considered crimes. Small crimes, misdemeanor crimes, these are still crimes. So if I haven't committed a crime, there's no reason for you to ID me. Because you literally cannot walk up to people randomly on the street, stop them as a cop, and I want to see some ID. You can't do that. Because of the rules. Presumed innocent before guilty. So that means you walking up to me asking for ID automatically think I'm guilty of something and you want to see if I am. No. Not allowed to do that. It has to be suspicion of a crime. I may be about to or maybe in the middle of committing. If I'm not, no need for ID. So I agree with that argument. But the rest, move, get out the way. Even if he yells at me, I'm not going to turn around and treat him like he's my brother. Oh, don't fucking yell at me. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. There's no point in that. You're going to escalate things all because you want to show your dick is bigger or your chest is bigger. Listen. Your dick and chest will never be bigger than a cop. He can make a phone call and flood your house. Flood your streets. Yeah, he may have to answer for it. But once the damage is done, you're fucked. When a cop pulls me over, I have my license and registration in my hand, hand it to him. I don't wait for him to ask for it. Feel free to do what you gotta do. Because no matter how I look at it, he's going to give me the ticket. I'm not going to stop the ticket. The only way to stop a ticket is to fight it in court. Other than that, if he's going to give it to you, you're going to get it. So back to daddy issues. This is all about authority. Daddy issues. And these motherfuckers have such horrible daddy issues that has been festering in them for so fucking long that when Donald Trump came in, he opened up the door and then ripped it off its hinges and let him out. What do you mean? Well, because Donald Trump cursed. He did something that politicians don't do on stage at rallies. He threw rally after rally. He talked like a retard, or non-political, or non-authoritarian, or authority. He talked like a kid who is left in charge by the parents and he's just running with it. We all would love to do that. So these people are living vicariously through Donald Trump, and they believe in him because he cursed at the other politicians. He called them names. He picked on them, and not just saying he's a bad. No, called them freaking names. Gave everybody a nickname. Talk like us in that aspect. No, all politicians talk like us, but when you're in a professional setting, you act professionally. Donald Trump took everything personal when it was supposed to be business as usual. But hey, that's what bullies do. That's what dudes with daddy issues do. And that guy's got more daddy issues than I got sperm cells. So, all I know is you can't defeat daddy issues with name calling. You only fuel them. You can't attack daddy issues with hate, because you only fuel them with hate. You just have to hear them out and let them be. My rule number 3, you don't got to prove you're right to be right. That defeats the whole point. And on that note, it's now, well, 5:51 in the morning. I keep doing these late night shits. Maybe I'm a night owl. I don't know. I thank you for your time. I hoped somebody would have something to say, positive or negative, just respectfully. And please subscribe, like, and dislike, whichever you feel. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm wrong or right. Get at me and I'll respond as soon as I get the message. But on that note, peace and good night.